And unfortunately, but inevitably, we have finally closed off the winning streak, boys. Today, I'm down a total of $2,800 that I took across 2 trades. The first trade I took was a loss. The second trade I took was a break even. Let's not talk for too long, so let me just show you. Here's the P&Ls. We're on TradeSync, down a total of $2,814 on the day, averaging minus 350 on each of the accounts I traded on. As I said already, unfortunately, today's P&L is the first red day in the whole month. Started off clean in the first week with $1,800 in profit and 4 winning days. Last week, we had a nice $2,700 week off of 2 days or 2 trades. This week, we're still up in profit, but sadly, we've introduced the first red day of the month. So getting into it, here are the executions. I ended up shorting the low of the session and took a much larger loss than I would have wanted, which was $350. Honestly, it was a volatile, very volatile area. I wanted my stop loss wide, so I did end up entering around here. Stop loss was held around here because if price ripped to the upside, it was always going to sweep out this high. So I wanted to take some risk off the table. I was aiming for a nice little 1-to-1 risk to reward trade just to secure another winning day on the markets. Unfortunately, you can see I got stopped out straight away practically. Markets then come up to the upside, end up shorting the market here, aiming for this low, and unfortunately we got broke even on that trade. So in this video, I'm just going to be explaining, not in depth, how I took my losses, but how to perceive markets when they're going to be in a unlawful mood. But on top of that, how to just accept losses and not get startled by them. So we're going to start off by just going over what price did today. So opening up the day on the markets, we could see, if we put our sessions indicator on, we can see that there is a daily for value gap here. What have we been doing the whole week so far? We have been generating liquidity on both sides of the table. And honestly, for the start of the week, we were generating a lot of buyer side liquidity. And at the mid part of the week, i.e. yesterday's afternoon, we ended up taking quite a bit of that liquidity. Now, leaving today with a lot more liquidity on the table, you may assume that price is in an uptrend now because it's broken 4-hour structure to the upside. It's got no clear draws on liquidity it's got no valid conviction to go to the downside, although it kind of did. But we can anticipate that there's a daily for value gap here. Now, opening up the morning in London session reached for this high. On ES, it ended up tapping into the daily for value gap and rejecting off it. What does that show on our charts as? That shows that there's an SMT in play. It shows that structurally on the charts, price has reached up into buyer side liquidity. It has taken some part of buyer side liquidity, being maybe these two significant highs, but it has also left the daily for value gap untapped and it has just rejected. Yesterday, I took a trade based off of structure in the market. What could we see this whole week was doing already? We could see that we weren't grabbing buy side liquidity. We weren't creating higher highs. We weren't sweeping to the upside and having displacement. Today, what did we start off by doing? We started generating a lot of sell side liquidity in the early hours of the morning, i.e. Asia session. That also generated a 4-hour for value gap, which ended up boosting price all the way to the upside for whatever reason. But if we go into New York sessions open, we can see that we have got Asia sessions low here. We have got London low already off the table. We've got Asia high off the table and we've got London high off the table. On ES, we actually did have Asia or whatever. We did have London high on the table right here, but in my eyes, this S&T was always going to hold with it because price was in a bearish trend. So as price opened up today, it opened up to the downside. It left no wick. We ended up retracing into that wick. And at this point in the charts, I was just like, cool. For whatever reason you want to list, whether it be the opening gap range, whether it be the opening gap range, or this 30-second for value gap, or this 4-hour for value gap, whatever reason you want, price seemed to be disrespecting any chance of a bullish break to the upside. What do we do up to the point where we sweep out this high? We're generating internal sell side liquidity. As soon as we sweep out this high, we've now got a great chance to run to the downside. What have we been doing all of pre-New York session as well? We've been creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. What can you expect in the markets? Not a prediction, by the way, pure reaction to how price is playing around. Lower lows. We do not close below this low. I do happen to get an entry in the markets around here with a mid-tight stop loss. Well, with a medium-sized stop loss. I mean, if price was ever going to come into these highs, it was always going to come into that high. So it would be stupid to place my stop loss at this high because I can just decrease my risk. I entered this trade wanting a winning day on the markets. I just needed $150. Would I have taken $150 if I got up that in this trade? Probably, but I didn't, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. In a winning system, you're going to have losses eventually. So this trade got sent straight to full stop loss. At this point in the charts, I wasn't really looking for anything. I mean, am I going to try and revenge trade my losses in the markets? No. Am I going to try and chase a winning day in the markets? No. So I wait it out. Price comes all the way up here, filling this daily for value gap. I end up shorting the market at around here. Stop loss literally at this internal high, aiming for this low. Looking back at it, this was a 15-minute for value gap where these relative equal lows were resting. Was it a smart decision to not pull the trade at this 15-minute for value gap? No, it wasn't, because either the trade was going to go straight to full take profit or it was going to go straight to break even, because even if I pulled the trade at this 15-minute for value gap, it wouldn't have mattered because I wouldn't have been break even on the day. So getting off these shitty charts because I don't look like the way they look, nor how they have been performing. For many months in my trading journey, I really struggled with being able to take a loss on the chin. I really struggled. For the past few months, I have gotten a lot better at it. What I didn't say with how I was struggling with it before was I've been profitable for about the past year. That doesn't mean I've had income every single month, but for the most part, I could read the markets, I could execute, I could take my strategy. It has come to me recently where I have been able to manage my risk incredibly. But the main problem that I overcame eventually in the markets was losing all of my accounts in one day. Blowing all of my accounts in one day because I had one hiccup in the markets, because I did one thing wrong, or I took one bad setup, or I over leveraged one time. Today, I'm pure Zen, bro. I am just Zen. I am in mindfulness. I am calm on the markets. I can hold a loss on my back because I understand that in the long run, I'm profitable. In the long run, my strategy works. In the short term results that you're going to see, you might have 4 losses in a row, but you have to understand that if you've done every single thing within your power in those 4 trades that you lost, every single trade onwards from that point has more probability of being a win. As I said, I've been on a win streak recently. Maybe not winning every single trade on its own in a row, but I've been on a win streak. That means that every single day that I trade on onwards from my previous win has a higher likelihood of being a loss. Today, I ended up taking my first loss, well, practically my first loss of the month. And look at how I'm reacting to it. Do I give a shit? No, because I know that tomorrow, if my setup appears, I'm going to take it. Maybe it has the probability of being a win. Maybe it has the probability of being a loss. But it doesn't fucking matter, man. Because I understand that I have a system that works in the long run. And that if I follow it, it will profit me. So, am I that good at talking to the camera? No. Is it something to get better at? Yeah. I don't know why on earth I'm so tired right now. I literally played golf earlier for like 2 hours, but my eyes, fuck. Anyway, it hasn't been a good day for me on the markets. Is it going to affect me tomorrow? No, because you just got to forgive and forget, man. You just got to take every day as it is. You got to stick to dialing in on the present, not thinking about what happened in the past, not trying to protect what can happen in the future. Just focus on what you can do right now and make the most of your time. That would be a great outro. So anyway, peace.